Christina Applegate's life story is not just about fame and success. It is a story filled with struggle, pressure, pain, and strength. From the very beginning, her life was different from most people. She was born into the world of entertainment, and before she could even understand what life was, she was already part of it. Her mother worked in acting and music, and because of financial struggles, Christina was often taken to sets and auditions instead of being left at home. At just a few months old, she appeared on television, and by the time she was a small child, she had already joined the acting world professionally. While other children were learning to play and enjoy simple childhood moments, Christina was learning how to perform, follow directions, and stay in front of cameras. This early exposure shaped her entire life. It gave her opportunities, but it also took away something important: her chance to grow up like a normal child. As she grew older, the pressure only increased. The entertainment industry is known for being demanding, especially for young girls, and Christina felt that pressure deeply. Comments about her appearance began affecting her at a very young age. One simple insult about her body stayed with her for years and slowly turned into a serious struggle with food and self-image. Instead of feeling confident, she began to see herself through the harsh eyes of others. This led to unhealthy habits and emotional pain that she kept hidden for a long time. Even when she became famous for her role as Kelly Bundy, making millions of people laugh, she was silently dealing with personal battles that no one could see. Her success on screen did not reflect the reality of her inner world. Behind the laughter and bright lights, there was a young woman trying to survive constant pressure, expectations, and emotional pain that started far too early in her life. As her career grew, Christina worked hard to prove that she was more than just a sitcom character. After years of playing a single role, she wanted to show the world that she could do more. She took on different kinds of roles in films and television, trying to break free from the image people had of her. This was not easy, because once an actor becomes known for one role, it can be difficult for audiences to see them differently. Still, she pushed forward and slowly built a career that showed her range and talent. Some of her projects were not successful at first, but over time, many of them gained recognition and appreciation. She worked with well-known actors and appeared in films that later became popular. These moments showed her determination to grow and change. However, even as her professional life improved, her personal life brought new challenges. Relationships became complicated, and emotional struggles continued. Her marriage ended, leaving behind sadness and unanswered questions. Around the same time, someone she once cared about deeply passed away due to drug-related issues, which added another layer of heartbreak to her life. These experiences show that success in career does not protect someone from pain in personal life. Christina faced loss, disappointment, and emotional stress while still trying to maintain her public image. She had to keep working, smiling, and performing, even when her personal world felt unstable. This contrast between public success and private pain became a recurring theme in her life. It also showed her strength, because despite everything, she did not give up on her career or herself. One of the most difficult moments in Christina's life came when she was diagnosed with breast cancer at a relatively young age. This news changed everything. Health is something many people take for granted until it is suddenly threatened, and for Christina, this was a life-altering experience. Even though the cancer was detected early, the fear and uncertainty were overwhelming. She had to make serious decisions quickly, including undergoing major surgery to reduce the risk of the disease returning. This decision was not easy, especially for someone whose career was closely connected to appearance and public image. However, she chose to focus on her health and future rather than fear. The surgery was successful, and she was declared cancer-free, but the emotional and physical impact remained. Instead of hiding her experience, Christina decided to use it to help others. She started a charity to support women who are at high risk of breast cancer and cannot afford proper screening. This showed a different side of her personality, one that is caring, strong, and willing to turn pain into purpose. Her journey with cancer was not just about survival, but also about helping others face similar challenges. It also reminded people that even celebrities, who seem to have everything, can face serious health struggles. Through this experience, Christina showed courage and resilience. She did not allow fear to control her, and she used her voice to raise awareness and support others. This chapter of her life added depth to her story and proved that strength can come from the most difficult situation as time passed. Christina continued to work in television and film, taking on roles that allowed her to express different sides of her talent. She received awards and recognition, proving that she was not just a one-time success, but a lasting presence in industry. She also took on more control over her career by becoming a producer, showing that she wanted to shape her own path rather than follow what others expected. However, life continued to bring unexpected challenges. She faced safety concerns, including threats from strangers, which forced her to take extra precautions in her personal life. These experiences can be frightening for anyone, and for someone already dealing with emotional and physical struggles, they add another layer of stress. Despite this, she continued to move forward. Her ability to keep working and creating in the face of such challenges shows her determination. She did not allow fear or negativity to completely stop her. Instead, she adapted and continued doing what she loved, even if it meant making changes along the way. Her story during this period is one of persistence. It shows that life does not become easier just because someone is successful. Challenges can come at any time, and how a person responds to them defines their strength. Christina's journey is a clear example of this. She faced problems that could have stopped her completely, but she chose to keep going. Even when it was difficult, a major turning point came when Christina was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a long-term disease that affects the body and nervous system. This diagnosis brought new challenges that were very different from anything she had faced before. Unlike her earlier health issues, this condition would stay with her for the rest of her life. It affected her ability to move, perform daily tasks, and continue working in the same way. Simple actions became difficult, and her independence was affected. This was a painful adjustment, both physically and emotionally. She had to come to terms with the fact that her life would never be the same. Despite this, she showed incredible strength by continuing to work and finishing her projects, even when it required extra support. She spoke openly about her condition, sharing her struggles with honesty. This openness helped others understand what she was going through, and also brought attention to the realities of living with such a disease. However, the emotional impact was clear. She spoke about feeling low, struggling to enjoy life, and dealing with constant pain and frustration. These are very real and human reactions to such a life-changing situation. Her honesty made her more relatable, showing that it is okay to admit when things are difficult. She did not pretend to be strong all the time. Instead, she showed both strength and vulnerability, which made her story even more powerful. Her journey with this disease is ongoing, and it continues to shape her life in many ways. In recent years, Christina has stepped back from on-screen acting due to her health condition. This decision was not easy, especially for someone who has spent her entire life in the spotlight. Acting was not just a job for her. It was a big part of her identity. Letting go of that part of her life meant accepting a new reality. However, she has found ways to stay connected to her work, including voice acting and other creative projects that are less physically demanding. This shows her ability to adapt and find new paths, even when old ones are no longer possible. At the same time, she has focused more on her personal life, especially her role as a mother. Her daughter has become the most important part of her life, giving her strength and purpose during difficult times. This shift in focus shows what truly matters to her. Fame and success are important, but family and personal well-being come first. Her story at this stage is about acceptance and change. It is about learning to live with new limitations while still finding meaning and joy where possible. This is something many people can relate to, even if their situations are different. Life often requires adjustment, and Christina's journey shows how challenging that can be, but also how important it is to keep moving forward. Another important part of her recent life has been her honesty about mental health. She has spoken openly about feeling depressed and struggling to find joy in everyday activities. This kind of honesty is not always easy, especially for someone in the public eye. Many people feel pressure to appear strong and positive, but Christina chose to be real about her feelings. This honesty has helped break the stigma around mental health, showing that it is okay to talk about these issues. It also highlights the emotional impact of long-term illness and life changes. Her words have connected with many people who feel similar struggles, even if their situations are different. She has shown that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that both need care and understanding. At times, her comments have also led to public reactions and misunderstandings, especially when she spoke strongly about social and political issues. This shows the challenge of being a public figure, where every word can be judged and discussed. Despite this, she has continued to speak her mind and express her feelings honestly. This courage adds another layer to her personality. She is not just an actress, but also a person who is willing to share her truth, even when it is difficult or controversial. Looking ahead, Christina's story is still being written. She has plans to share more about her life through her memoir, where she will talk about her past experiences, struggles, and personal journey in more detail. This will give people a deeper understanding of everything she has been through, including parts of her life that have never been shared before. Her story is not just about fame or illness. It is about survival, growth, and resilience. It shows how a person can face multiple challenges and still find a way to keep going. While her life has had many difficult moments, it has also shown strength, courage, and the ability to adapt. Christina Applegate's journey reminds us that behind every public figure is a real person with real struggles. Her story is not perfect, and it is not always happy, but it is honest and human. And in that honesty, there is something powerful. Christina Applegate's journey did not slow down emotionally even as her physical world became smaller. In fact, as her health challenges grew, her inner world seemed to become more intense and complicated. Living with multiple sclerosis meant facing pain, weakness, and uncertainty every single day. Tasks that once felt simple, walking across a room, holding a phone, opening a bottle, became exhausting challenges. This kind of change does not only affect the body, it also affects the mind. Christina began to speak more openly about how difficult it was to stay positive. She shared that there were days when she did not feel like getting out of bed, days when even small activities felt meaningless. These were not just passing feelings. They were deep emotional struggles connected to everything she had been through, years of pressure, illness, and loss. Her honesty surprised many people because celebrities often hide these parts of their lives. But Christina chose not to pretend. She spoke about her depression in simple, direct words, saying she did not enjoy things the way she used to. This kind of honesty made her more relatable, especially to people who were going through their own struggles. It showed that even someone who had achieved so much could still feel lost and overwhelmed. At the same time, her openness also led to misunderstandings. Some people took her words out of context, especially when rumors began spreading about her mental health. She had to clarify that while she was struggling, she was not in immediate danger. This situation showed how quickly public conversations can become distorted, especially when it involves sensitive topics. Still, Christina continued to speak honestly because she believed it helped reduce shame around mental health. She understood that by sharing her story, she could help others feel less alone. This decision required courage, especially in a world where people are often judged for showing vulnerability. Her journey during this time was not about finding easy answers, but about learning how to live with difficult emotions while still moving forward in whatever way she could. At the same time, her connection with the public became more complex. Social media gave her a direct way to express her thoughts, but it also exposed her to criticism and backlash. One moment that drew strong reactions was when she spoke out after a major political event. She shared her feelings openly, expressing concern about issues that mattered to her, including women's rights and disability rights. Her words came from a place of emotion and personal experience, but not everyone agreed with her. Some people supported her, while others criticized her strongly. This reaction showed how divided public opinion can be, especially when it comes to political topics. Christina later tried to explain that her response came from a place of sadness and frustration, not anger. She admitted that she was overwhelmed and emotional at the time. This moment revealed another side of her life, the challenge of being a public figure in a world where every opinion can lead to strong reactions. It is not easy to balance personal expression with public expectations, especially when dealing with personal struggles at the same time. Christina's experience showed that even when someone speaks honestly, they may not always be understood the way they intend. Despite the criticism, she did not completely step back from sharing her thoughts. Instead, she continued to speak when she felt it was important, even if it meant facing negative reactions. This shows a level of strength that goes beyond physical endurance. It is a strength to stand by one's feelings and beliefs, even when it is uncomfortable. Her journey in this area reflects a larger reality that many people face today, the challenge of being heard without being misunderstood. For Christina, this became another part of her life story, one that added to the emotional complexities she was already dealing with. During this time, unexpected events continued to test her resilience. Health issues related to her condition sometimes led to serious complications, including severe stomach problems that required medical attention. These experiences were not just physically painful, but also emotionally draining. Being in and out of the hospital, dealing with constant discomfort, and facing unpredictable symptoms can wear down even the strongest person. Christina spoke about these experiences in a very honest way, describing how difficult and exhausting they were. She did not try to hide the reality of what she was going through. Instead, she shared it openly, even when it was uncomfortable to talk about. This level of honesty is rare, especially in the entertainment industry, where people often feel pressure to appear perfect. By speaking openly, she gave people a clearer understanding of what living with a chronic illness can be like. It is not just about one diagnosis. It is about a series of challenges that affect every part of life. These moments also showed how much her world had changed. She was no longer focused on building her career in the same way. Instead, much of her energy went into managing